Bombshell new additions to a best-selling 2022 book have revealed future Queen Kate Middleton's steely streak. Courtiers, the hidden power behind the crown, looks back to that now infamous palace statement written in response to Meghan Markle's accusation of racism against the monarchy. Author Valentine Lowe, the journalist who broke the Meghan Markle bullying scandal, writes that Kate was even firmer than husband William in her insistence that recollections may vary line be included in any public response. An insider source revealed it was Kate who clearly made the point history will judge this statement, and unless this phrase or a phrase like it is included, everything that they have said will be taken as true. So I'm fascinated to know what you think about this. Was Kate right to insist the royal family fought back against Meghan's untrue claims of racism? Dan at gbnews.com. Vote in our poll at gbnews on Twitter. The results shortly, but to debate this now, I'm joined by the editor-at-large for the Mail on Sunday, Charlotte Griffiths, and the social commentator, Joanna Jarju. Charlotte, Kate has been proven to be right, hasn't she? Because those farcical claims from Meghan were lies, and we now know they were lies.
Yeah, because recent interviews that Prince Harry's given, he's actually backtracked and said, well, I wasn't saying that they're racist. I was saying that there was unconscious bias. But either way, you know, there wasn't racism there. And of course, they had to release a statement disputing that, because never complain, never explain works unless you're accused of something incredibly serious like racism, and if you're not racist you have to hit back at that. And good on Kate, because she's really starting to emerge as a queen in waiting, because she obviously laid down the law on that one.
Joanna Jarju, Kate was right, wasn't she? She knew that the royal family wasn't racist. She knew that Meghan was just peddling a whole load of lies in front of the world, and so it was really important to include that line, recollections may vary.
Well, first of all, in Meghan and Harry's Oprah interview, they'd never actually said the word racism. They talked about actually skin colour, yes. And when Harry had a first opportunity to clarify exactly what he meant in his interviews leading up to Spare, he did just that. And he specified that he felt that it was unconscious bias. How the media...
Oh, Joanna, that was 2 years later. Joanna, 2 years later. In that time, let me just remind you, because it's very important, Prince Philip died and the late Queen Elizabeth II died. He waited 2 years before he corrected the record.
Well, I mean, actually, unconscious bias, really, by fact, is a form of racism. So whether Harry wanted to kind of specifically specify exactly what he meant by using those words, or not, you know, to insist this. I was very, you know, surprised to hear this, actually, because I'm just trying to figure out from the Cambridge's camp what we're supposed to believe about Kate. What narrative are we supposed to believe? Are we supposed to believe, is it that butter wouldn't melt, Kate wouldn't hurt a fly, and Kate follows protocol, and Kate's just in the shadows? Or is it that actually behind the scenes, Kate is quite a forceful character?
All right, so this latest royal headline? Yeah, it's a big one. According to journalist Charlotte Griffiths, Kate Middleton laid down the law when it came to Meghan Markle and those racism allegations from the Oprah interview. Now, that's a pretty strong phrase, lay down the law. So what exactly does that mean? And more importantly, what does it say about Kate, Meghan, and the whole dynamic inside the royal family? Let's talk about it. So let's rewind for a second. Remember that Oprah interview? Meghan revealed that someone in the royal family was concerned about how dark her baby's skin might be. That moment went viral overnight. People were furious. The royals went into full PR mode. And sure, the palace released that super vague statement, recollections may vary. But other than that, silence. Except, now we're hearing that behind the scenes, Kate wasn't having it. Enter Charlotte Griffiths, who says that Kate stepped in and basically told everyone, "We're not just letting this go." She says Kate was one of the key voices pushing for a response, especially after Meghan and Harry's claims started really damaging the monarchy's image.
And maybe some of the things that have been revealed about Kate
I know a little bit about
quite
this.
realistic based on what we've heard today.
I know a little bit about this, okay, because I was covering this story for a long time. I've reported on Kate and William for a long time. Kate is very clear that publicly she wants William to take the lead. she actually feels very threatened in lots of circumstances. She's a really shy person and she very much believes that her husband should take the lead. But behind the scenes, she plays an incredibly important role, especially because there are times when William is really vulnerable. And Charlotte Griffiths, I believe you have some exclusive information about just how hard that period was for William and how much Kate had to be there for him. So talk to me a little bit about William, what William was going through there, Charlotte, because we haven't heard much about that.
Yeah, so what I found quite surprising was that I've heard for a long time now from many different sources that in the lead up to that Oprah interview, William was quite literally sick with worry. He was not eating, he became kind of not reclusive, but he definitely was hiding away. He'd gone to a royal residence for a period of time to just cut himself off from the world. And he was just in bits, basically. And what Kate was doing was Kate was standing by her man. Kate was like, you know, I've got to stick up for this guy. I've got to protect him. He's being destroyed by this. And that probably made her quite steely, even though she's got this reputation for being shy. I mean, when it comes to protecting her husband, she's going to step in there and protect him, just like Meghan Markle does over Prince Harry the whole time.
Joanna, you must hear that and feel huge sympathy for William and understand why it was necessary for him to stand up for his family as a future king.
I mean, look, everybody has the right to give their side of the story, whether it's through a statement via the Queen or whether it's via a Oprah interview. I believe in everybody being able to speak their truth to an extent. What I don't get is why it is that now we're getting peddled this narrative of Kate being so strong and Kate being the person who insists this, but then at the same time believing that it was Meghan who made Kate cry and Kate so sensitive and it was Meghan who rules the roost. If Kate is in a position where she has that much influence to be able to give feedback on a speech that the Queen is giving to the British public, that just shows you how much influence she actually had behind the scenes. And actually, for a lot of Meghan and Harry supporters, it's a lot easier now to believe that some people from the Cambridge's camp were briefing against the Sussexes, and actually that Kate did have a lot more of a voice and wasn't as much of a victim against Meghan as what we've been led to believe.
Charlotte, how do you respond to that?
This is actually an own goal for Cambridges.
I think
it's an own goal for Cambridges.
Unlike Meghan, Kate is very sparing with her influence, and so she uses it as and when it was necessary, and also when prompted.
Yes,
so maybe she is kind of quite passive behind the scenes.
Apparently, Kate told William and royal aides that they had to speak up. And not just with generic PR fluff, but with something that shut the whole racist royal narrative down. Now, if you've followed Kate over the years, you know she's often seen as the calm one. Polished, reserved, very never complain, never explain. But if this report is true, it proves something a lot of royal watchers have suspected. Kate's no pushover. She might play it quiet in public, but behind the scenes, she's got serious influence. She's not just walking 3 steps behind William. She's shaping strategy. Now here's where it gets interesting. Was Kate reacting to protect the monarchy's reputation? Or was this also personal? Because let's be real, there's been tension between Kate and Meghan for years. Everything from the bridesmaid dress drama to that whole who made who cry thing. So when Meghan goes on national TV and drops a bomb about racism in the family, you've got to wonder, did Kate see it as an attack on the institution or an attack on her? Maybe both. Let's not forget, just days after the Oprah interview, Prince William came out with that now famous line. We are very much not a racist family. That comment seemed random at the time.
But she watches her husband, literally he couldn't eat for a week before the Oprah interview. And she watches that and it kind of spurs her on every once in a while to sort of lay down the law. But she's not doing it the whole time and making a big scene the whole time.
Sorry, can I just say something very quickly? I think it's very... Sorry, can I just say something very quickly? I think it's very interesting that when Prince Harry sits there and says, I watched my wife near suicidal and I had to do something about it, then it's, oh, Meghan's making it up, Harry's making it up. And then that's the narrative with them. But when Kate is insisting that something should be in a statement and actually influencing what the Queen says to the British public, then it's, oh, Kate had to be there for William. We need to pick a side.
Joanna, come on. Joanna, think about this for 1 second. Meghan and Harry have had every opportunity publicly to state their case, and they have been gutless because they saying, no, it is impossible for William and Kate to do so. So come on, you can hardly say that including three words in a statement is some sort of aggressive act. You're trying to make out as if Kate is some sort of bully.
Dan, don't put words into my mouth. I did not use that word whatsoever.
Well, that's what you're hinting at.
Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Acting as if William and Kate are completely gagged. They're clearly not. They're Kate Middleton had the influence inside the palace to change a line in the Queen's speech. And you're acting as if these people can't speak whatsoever. When there's something that's out there in the press that they don't like, they're very quick to correct it. And the difference here and where the unconscious bias was between towards Meghan was that when things were incorrect about Meghan, they were never willing to correct it. So to act as if Kate and William were completely gagged, oh, they can't speak, but Meghan and Harry can do Oprah. Yes, maybe not to that extent, but they always have the opportunity, and this just proves it. And it just proves how much of a voice Kate actually has in the background. So really, it's revealed.
Okay, final word to you, Charlotte. Final word to you, Charlotte. Charlotte, final word.
Meghan and Harry were dishing out lengthy corrective statements every 5 minutes when they were in the palace. They weren't sort of sitting there silently. They were constantly correcting, and the palace were putting those statements out for them. And, you know, they stood up for them millions of times.
Okay. Charlotte Griffiths.
Prince Harry had to go out of his way.
Joanna Jaju, thank you both so much. Who do you agree with on this? Was Kate Middleton right to insist the royal family fought back against Meghan Markle's untrue claims of racism, as revealed by the royal journalist and author Valentine Lowe? Sean on Twitter writes, the Princess of Wales is spot on. The royal family have to stand on their own feet against the Duchess of Delusion's fake racist tales. Lachlan writes, Kate is a strong character indeed. Don't be fooled by her public persona. She was absolutely right to want to fight back against these appalling claims. And Helen writes, she was 100% right. Good for Kate, the warrior princess. And your verdict is now, and 93% of you agree that Kate is a warrior princess who did the right thing, leading the fight back against Meghan. Just 7% of you with Joanna there.
Like, super out of character for the royals. But now, hearing that Kate may have been pushing hard behind the scenes, it makes sense. She might have been the reason William said anything at all. She was setting the tone. We're not staying silent on this. So here's my take. If Charlotte Griffiths is right, this whole situation shows a different side of Kate, one we rarely see. It's easy to view her as the composed, smiley figure at public events. But this paints her as strategic, assertive, even protective of the crown in a way we didn't expect. Whether you agree with how she handled it or not, it's clear she's not just floating through this royal life. She's actively shaping it. All right, I want to hear what you think. Do you believe Charlotte Griffiths? Was Kate right to push back against Meghan's claims? Or should the palace have taken a different approach altogether? Drop your thoughts in the comments, or if you're listening on podcast, hit me up on socials. And hey, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, or do whatever you need to do so you don't miss the next breakdown. Because this royal drama, it's definitely not over.